That version by the Righteous Brothers and an unmistakable song, Unchained Melody, a beautiful song. And it's a theme that filters through that wonderful musical that I saw last weekend. Had the pleasure of going along to see the musical Ghost. It was at the Regent Theatre. Just a sensational program, it really was. It's playing in Melbourne for a limited season only, so before it moves on to Sydney and to Perth, you've got to get in to see this. The show is nothing but outstanding. I wrote a review on this last week and I said it was wonderfully extravagant. And it's that plus more. Most of us would have fallen in love with the movie, I'm sure, decades ago. Well, be prepared to fall in love all over again, because Ghost the Musical is very, very much that. It stars Rob Mills, he's absolutely fantastic, in Jemma Rix, supported by a wonderful, talented cast. The original soundtrack is brilliant. It captures every moment from the original story and leaves absolutely nothing out at all. It really gives a beautiful adjunct to it all. Joining me now on the line, I've got one of the stars from Ghost the Musical, the actor who plays Molly Jensen. Jemma Rix, a very good afternoon to you and welcome into 97.7 FM.
Yep, hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, first and foremost, on a wonderful, wonderful part you played last weekend.
Oh, thank you so much. So glad you enjoyed it. Yes, she's a beautiful character to play, quite emotional. But,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I get to sing some beautiful music as well, so it's quite a rewarding role to play.
Let me say this at the outset. Did you ever envisage at the age of 4 years of age, when you did your first show on stage, that you'd ever be performing in Melbourne in Ghost the Musical?
No, to be totally honest with you, I actually never thought that I would be able to do it as a job, but just singing as a job. Where I grew up in the Central Coast in New South Wales, it wasn't really part of anything. It was just sort of what I loved to do, but it was always just a part-time enjoyment thing. So I still pinch myself regularly when I'm actually getting to do what I love for a job. And especially with Ghost, because I loved it back when it opened in 2012.
Yeah.
And I downloaded the soundtrack, and I completely fell in love with the music.
Yes.
And I was singing along to it, and always dreamed of it. So it's actually quite crazy that I landed the role, and I'm on the stage and singing that music that I listened to so much on repeat back in 2012. So it is a dream. Well,
Jemma, I should tell the audience, in case they're trying to place your face for a moment, that of course you're in Wicked.
Yes, yeah, I'm the green one.
Yeah.
So you probably wouldn't recognise me if you saw me down the street. Yeah.
Yeah. That's her. She's dressed in green.
Yeah, the only thing that would give me away is if I'd be at a cafe when I was playing Elphaba and people would see the green tinge. That's the only way that people would go, oh, she must be the Wicked Witch.
Really?
But, I don't have to worry about this with this show, so I appreciate that.
I was saying to you off air before we went to air that it's a fairly energetic show, Ghost, for you, because you're on stage nearly all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, and I think that probably actually playing Elphaba has put me in good stead for show fitness, actually, because it was the same sort of demands of being on the stage all the time and singing quite technically difficult songs. So I think that I learnt a lot when I was in Wicked, and how to rest and how to have really good technique so you can sustain everyday singing. So I've sort of slipped into the role and I'm doing quite well. So I think Elphaba's helped me along the way. But it's beautiful to sort of to sing this music. It's a little bit more softer and gentle on the voice, so I really thoroughly enjoy singing the sweeping sounds of the show.
You mentioned their rest. Now, let me pick your brain for a second, because as an actor, you're on stage with matinees on, I think it's Sundays as well as Wednesdays and all sorts of things. How on earth does an actor doing a part like yours get to rest? What's your wind down?
Yeah, you can't really go out very much, so your social life kind of goes out the window. So you really have to limit how much you're talking. And because, even just going out to dinner, if a place is really, really loud and you're having to speak, over sounds for a long period of time, your voice is then, too tired.
Exhausted.
And then you can't really do the show. So you really have to limit the social things that you would normally do in real life. So it is a little bit isolating, but at the end of the day, you're on contract. It's not forever, so it's not going to be a forever thing. And then also you always want to do a really good show for the audience, so you don't want to ever cause yourself to have to either take a show off or your show's not as good as it can be because you've been, out chatting to people. So you just kind of you just be really strict and disciplined, and obviously be healthy and fit, and that gets you through the 8-show week.
That makes a lot of sense to me. I've often wondered with actors such as yourself, how you avoid getting flus and colds. As you've just explained there, you keep away from that environment, and you have to limit yourself as to what you can do.
Yeah, you really do. You really have to rest a lot, and which is fine anyway, because at the end of the day, you're pretty tired. So you're happy to sort of have a chill out on the couch and just sort of rest. So it's not really... you don't really feel like you're missing out too much because you're pretty tired anyway.
Jemma, you, as I say, started out at the age of 4. You then had your own band. I think you're the lead singer of a pop band about the age of 18, from memory, I was reading.
Yeah. I was in a pop experience group, so it was all top 40 stuff. So we'd go to pubs and clubs, but at the time I was still working full-time as a beauty therapist.
Oh.
So I was doing that. I'd finish a whole shift at work, and then I would drive to Sydney and perform all night with a band. But that just showed to me how much I loved performing.
Well, that was dedication.
I wanted to do it even with the limited, free time that I had. That was sort of my passion and my happiness.
And what made you, at the age of 21, move to Melbourne? What was the attraction?
I think where I grew up, it was a small sort of beach town, and I just sort of, I sort of had this life where I was like, well, I could be happy and this is my life and live this. But then I was like this, I had this burning desire to just try, even if I failed, because I didn't, study music. I didn't do that. I literally did an apprenticeship for beauty therapy. I did something so different. And, but I just thought, oh, look, if I just do a few auditions, if I explore the world and live a little bit and just see what happens. And I was okay if I didn't get anything. I just head back to the Central Coast. I was happy with that. But I was just so fortunate and landed some work pretty much straight away. And then that kind of snowballed, and I've been working professionally as a singer and actor ever since. So I've been very, very lucky.
So you didn't study at NIDA or the Victorian Arts down here?
No, but I'm incredibly rare. I'm pretty much one of the very few people that haven't studied. And look, if I had a different sort of opportunities where I grew up, maybe I absolutely would have taken the opportunities, but it wasn't my path, it wasn't my way. So I did it my own way, and I'm glad that it paid off.
Well, it certainly has worked for you. You've got the most delightful voice, and your acting on stage is just absolutely brilliant. I did see Wicked, loved Ghost, absolutely love it. And you wouldn't hear a bad comment about Ghost, I'm sure. It's the way the original music has been constructed, it takes the story through and everything flows. Yeah,
and it all happens, you don't ever have any dull moments in the show. Like my husband, he's an athlete, and so he's not really a musical theatre professional by any means. But he sort of said when he watched it the first time, he was like, I just felt like there was nothing that was lagging. Like, oh, I wish they didn't have that scene. Or he just said it was just like power from the beginning.
Yeah, it does.
He said it was like I was watching the film on stage, but then the music just heightened it to another level. So a lot of people that aren't really into musical theatre as such still really enjoy the show because it's really got a modern feel to it, and it's really happening and active. Yeah.
And it's one of those movies, when it originally came out, that struck a real chord with people. It's got emotion there. There's a lot of emotion involved in the movie itself. And when you come along and see the stage production, that emotion is carried through. I mean, to say, Rob does a fantastic job, and the way he disappears through that wall is just brilliant.
I know, it's amazing. He was like, how some people are just born for roles?
Yes.
He was born for this role. Like, his voice sounds amazing singing the music. He's the perfect age. He's an amazing actor. He's sensational in it. And I knew that from day one of rehearsal. I was like, oh, he's going to be sensational. So it's so nice to sort of, get all that response back of how impressed everybody is with Millsy. And he is. He's absolutely fabulous in this role. But yeah, I think, it's the music that really tips you over the edge. Like, even in rehearsals, I wasn't even acting. We were literally blocking through a scene, and it's the dance scene at the end. And we have Dave Skelt, who is on the MD, and he's playing the piano, this beautiful underscore of Unchained Melody, and I just started crying. Like, I wasn't even trying to act. It just
came.
Just came out.
Look, I can totally believe you. There were people sitting next to me who had tears in their eyes towards the end. And, when that gunshot first comes, you sort of know that's going to come as you see it in the movie. But what transpires from then and how you handle it in your character is just absolutely phenomenal. It's just brilliant. Next, I was reading about you, and this is being postponed, and it's an interesting thing here that you did audition for Jekyll and Hyde, but it has been postponed indefinitely.
Yeah, I know. It's this sort of weird thing where I landed the role of Lucy, and I was so excited because obviously it was my first, role after Wicked, and I was so looking forward to it. And same thing, the music's sensational. And then when it got cancelled, I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? And it was just so weird that sort of Ghost came along not long after, and so it's kind of perfect for me because those two roles suited my voice. So I've just been very fortunate that two roles came, but unfortunately, Jekyll and Hyde didn't happen. But hopefully maybe one day.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
It's the second time it's been postponed. Did you know that?
I know, and I didn't know this.
Yeah, it is. I went to the media call of the first one, and it was up at, I think, the Princess Theatre from memory, and that was back in the 90s, and then that was postponed. Even the CDs came out as the demos to the radio announcers, and that was all postponed, and then this time, I thought, what's going on, Jekyll and Hyde, eh?
Yeah, it's got a bit of a bad... thing attached to it for some weird reason. But I got to meet Frank Wildhorn, who wrote the music.
Yes.
And he actually wrote me an email, and he was just as shocked as what I was when the announcement happened. So it was quite a sad thing because I was really excited. But then again, I got Ghost, so I guess if I was doing Jekyll and Hyde, I wouldn't be in Ghost. So,
yeah, that's right.
I'm really, really happy.
I have got to mention another lady, another actor to you in this, Wendy Mae Brown. I think Wendy Mae Brown is just sensational. I'm going to say the three of you are phenomenal. This woman, and she's from the UK, she's a remarkable actor and a great talent, isn't she?
Oh, she's amazing. And I feel like it's something like you've got to have the emotion of the show, obviously, because it is such a powerful piece. But then you really have to have the comedy balance because the audience need relief because it's so sad. They need to have that humour. They need to have that balance. And I remember the first day that we had the preview in Adelaide. It was the first audience we ever had, and they were in absolute hysterics. And so it was just wonderful because it really feels like you have a really well-rounded show that the audience are really going to be taken on the full journey. But she is hysterical, and it's hard for me to not laugh because obviously I can't laugh.
Well, we were all laughing in the audience. She's just brilliant. She really, really is. And you're right. She puts that comedy into it, and it gets that balance to the whole show. Yeah,
totally. The audience need that. They really do. And she's so talented, and she's such a joy to watch on stage. I just can't actually laugh at her, but inside I'm like, yes, she's funny.
Jemma, you're a wonderful actor. You really, really are. You, Rob, and the whole cast, and of course not just the cast, those behind the scenes with the illusions and the lighting and everything that goes together to make a stage show. You've done it in this. It's been very, very successful, and I'm sure your ongoing tour right around Australia is going to be brilliant to you.
Thank you so much.
Jemma, I've enjoyed talking to you. I love the show. Might even come back again to see it once more because it was just brilliant.
Oh, please do. And I'd like to meet you too.
That'd be nice too. We'll talk again.
Okay,
thanks, Jemma. Okay, bye-bye to you. What a lovely lady. And it is a great musical. If you haven't even contemplated going to see it, you must, because it is one of those that will stick in your mind, just like the movie did. You've probably got the DVD at home. Jemma Rix, star of Ghost, the musical.